Hey, I'm Maurice DeShaco. Welcome to your Stretch for Strength class. Today we're going to be focusing on the hips and the obliques. And for props, all you need is your yoga mat and some yoga blocks. Cool, let's get started. Okay, so we're just going to start off with a nice easy spinal roll as we always do, because it's just a great way to warm up. So we're just going to look up, arch all the way down, curl at the bottom and rolling up. Arching down and rolling up. Good. Nice and easy. And rolling up. And down. Last one. And holding it there at the bottom. Walking into your downward dog, and we're just going to walk it out at the hips. Swiveling those hips, getting a bit of a twist action going. Just warming everything up. And stop in the middle. Let's do some rises up and down. Really pushing all the way up into the toes. Pushing away with the hands into the floor so that the weight goes back into the heels. And back to walking it out. Good. And then we're just going to do some hip circles, although it's going to feel like knee circles. So keeping the knees together, and we're just going to twist the knees around, doing some circles. So I'm rising up onto my tippy toes, and I'm just drawing a circle with my knees, and that's going to help me warm up the hips. And change directions. Just go at a pace that you can manage. Last two, and one, and coming down onto all fours. And then we're just going to bring our hands a little bit forward and do some deep hip circles, because we're going to be getting into those hips. We just want to warm things up, lubricate the joints of the hip socket. So pushing my weight back and forward, and change direction. Nice and easy. Good. Last two. One. And then just coming into all fours, tucking the toes and pushing back into your downward facing dog. All right, I'm going to be bending my left knee and doing some big hip circles. Opening out. Open circles. Stop at the top. And then change direction, inward circles. Good. Last three, two, one. And now you're going to extend that leg up to the sky, push the floor away from you. It's all right if you've got a bend in the back knee, and also if your heel is slightly off the floor, don't worry about it too much. Just focusing on the top leg, on the hip. I want you to swivel into an open hipped position and then back into closed hips. So we're opening and we're closing. Just to switch legs so that you can see what it looks like. Opening and closing. I'm also opening my rib cage just a little bit. That's going to help me get a nice open hipped position. So keep going. And really focusing on also swiveling the bottom hip as much as the top hip. And I'm lifting my heel up and down to help me. Let's do three more. Two. Good. One. And then we're just going to be bringing that knee forward, trying to tuck knee towards the nose and stepping into a lunge. Let's come up into a high lunge position. So dropping those hips nice and low, cactusing the arms, reaching the elbows in towards the hips. Inhale, you're going to reach forward into Phoenix Wings of Flight, scraping the fingertips across the floor, up, and exhale, open. And keep going with that. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Keep going. And last one. Stop at the top. Bringing the hands into prayer position. And we're just going to be doing a simple twist. So reaching across opposite elbow to knee. And as you squeeze the palms of the hands together, you get a deeper twist in the upper back. So really squeeze, hands, palms together, bending into the front knee, straightening the back leg, push hands together, inhale, exhale, slowly come out of that and going into your warrior two position. So just checking your alignment here, that you've got front heel in line with back arch, zipping up that pelvis, reaching the arms nice and far apart, and dipping down nice and low into the front leg, holding it there. Inhale, exhale, bringing the hands together in prayer. Inhale up, exhale down. And again, inhale up, exhale down. Good, inhale up, exhale. Really enjoying the simplicity of this movement. Last one, inhale, exhale. And let's come back into our high lunge. We're just going to backward circle the arms a few times. So really like you're doing backstroke, nice heart opening movement. And then I'm going to reach my opposite hand to the back leg. Palm touches the thigh, nice deep bend in the front leg. Reaching up towards the ceiling, try and straighten that back leg. And if possible, you're doing a back bend. Think about it as opening the heart, bend into the front leg, reaching back, rise up onto the back toes. Inhale, slowly coming out of that. Now we're going to reverse those arms like you're doing freestyle and come all the way down to the ground into a low lunge. All right, we're going to go into a lizard lunge at this point. So I want you to move your foot out to the side of the mat, hands come to the inside. If you need to have yoga blocks for support, you can do that at any height. We're going to be coming up onto our fingertips and templing the fingertips, bringing the hips down. We're going to be doing some push-ups here. So you're going to inhale to prepare and exhale, push up. Trying to get your nose down to the mat. Keep going. That's it. Hips down, nose down. And last one, holding it there. You can come onto the elbows. You can even rest your forearms onto a block if you need a little bit more height. And we're just going to be rocking backwards and forwards in that lizard position. Rocking backwards and forwards, just like that. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Very, very deep hip opener. So it's normal to be feeling some intensity here. Just breathe through it. All right. Now, for those of you that have had enough, you're going to just stay in this position. So you're going to bring your foot in. And I want you just to hold this deep lunge position. Back knee is down. Pressing arms against front knee. Holding it there. If you'd like a little bit more of a challenge, you're going to come back into your lizard. Rising up off the back knee. Dropping the shoulders down. Trying to get your shoulder underneath your knee into what's known as an aeroplane lunge and back into that push-up position. Now you're either holding it there or you're extending your arms, resting onto the fingertips. Inhale, hold it there. And if you really want even more challenge, exhale, lifting fingertips away from the floor and holding it. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze shoulder into the knee. And coming out of that, pushing away from the floor, let's just go into a triangle position. You can be up on a yoga block for support if you need to. Nice straight flat back. Reaching down. Nice long neck. Straight flat back from the coccyx to the crown of the head. And let's just walk the hands into the middle. Reaching the heart forward, inhale, and exhale, coming down. Again, inhale, holding it there, and exhale. Moving over to the other side, and pushing back into your downward facing dog. Bending the right leg this time, knee circles. Outwards knee circles, really focusing on the hips. So this is a good place to practice those hip openers, because when you get to the top of your circle, if you were to extend the leg, you would be in that open hip position. So really focusing on bottom and top hip, and change directions. Closing the hip circle or inwards. So we are lubricating those hip joints, focusing on both hips, and stop at the bottom, extending that leg, pushing the ground away from you, and then moving into those hip openers. So we're extending, opening, and then closing the hips. So just from the other side, to show you what it looks like. You can even look under your armpit and swivel that rib cage. That's going to help you. Remember to focus on the bottom leg just as much as the top leg. In fact, I'd say that it's the bottom leg driving the swivel, at least for me. And that way you can be sure that you're not swiveling from the knee, that you're rather swiveling from the hips. All right, bending that knee, bringing knee in towards nose and stepping into a lunge position, and let's lift up into a high lunge. So I've got my front leg bent, my back leg straight, squeezing the glutes, and then we're just cactusing the arms, opening the heart towards the ceiling, phoenix wings of flight. Inhale, reaching forward, brushing the fingertips along the ground. Exhale, open the heart, and keep going. Inhale, exhale, inhale, staying nice and low to the ground, rounding that back, and then arching the back. Good, breathe. Last 2, and 1, and then we're just going to come into a warrior 2 position, checking for alignment, front heel in line with back arch, zipping up that pelvis, knee is open, extending the arms far apart from each other, hands to pray, inhale, up and open. Good. So generate a bit of power here as you recharge. Not such an intense movement, but you can really gain intensity by moving the arms with strength and intention. Keeping your angles and your lines clean. Last one. And let's come back into a high lunge position. And we're just going to backstroke the arms, just like we did before. Figuring out which is your opposite arm to back leg, grabbing it by the thigh, palm facing down, bending into the front leg, rising up high onto the back toes, and then reaching back, opening the heart to the ceiling. Maybe you go into a back bend, maybe you don't. Bend in the front leg, straighten the back leg, and just breathe. Slowly coming up, and reversing those arm circles, coming all the way down into your high lunge position, and then moving out, ready for lizard lunge. So here I've got my foot towards the outside of my mat. I'm bringing my hips down, keeping the back leg straight. Up onto fingertips. If you need yoga blocks to lift you up a little bit, then that's fine. We're going into our push-ups. Inhale, exhale, nose to the ground. Inhale up, exhale down. Keep going. If it's too intense, you don't need to go as low. You can also just hold this position here. Good. Last 2. And 1. Resting onto the forearms or the elbows. Remember, you can prop yourself up with blocks. Stretching the back knee and just rocking backwards and forwards. There we go. Inhale and exhale. Good. Feeling a little bit of intensity, but hopefully no pain. Okay, so for those of you who are feeling it a little bit too much and it's too intense, coming into a low lunge position, back knee is down, pressing your hands against your thigh and just holding it there for as long as possible. If you want more of a challenge, coming back into your lizard shape, trying to get your shoulder beneath your knee into aeroplane lunge, holding it in that push-up position. Version 2, Reaching the hands back, resting on the fingertips. And version 3, lifting off, full airplane lunge. Holding it there. Slowly pressing back into your triangle, propping yourself up onto blocks if you need to. Nice, long, straight, flat back. Taking a moment to rest there. Inhale. Good, that was pretty intense, so well done. Exhale, moving over to the middle. Grabbing opposite ankles and just pushing the spine straight, reaching against those ankles. Inhale. Exhale. Coming over to the other side, you're going to step forward and scraping the fingertips along the ground, coming into chair position. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, back to chair. Exhale, fold forward. 2 more, just like that. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Stepping back into your twisted lunge. So you've got opposite elbow across the knee, pushing down. Twisted lunge. Holding it there. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, slowly coming out of that. We're going into warrior 2 again, but this time we're going to clasp fingertips behind the back, so grabbing them like this, and you're trying to extend those arms, squeeze palms of hands together. Inhale, looking up, and exhale, folding forward into ostrich. Arms come up overhead, holding it there. Breathe. Try and deepen the bend in the front leg. Keep the back leg nice and straight. Inhale. Exhale, rolling up slowly. And then reaching up into warrior 2 one more time. Okay, we're going to be moving into a Beakrum Triangle from here. So inhale, exhale, keeping the front leg bent. We're just going to reach into a side bend. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, down. So I've got elbow towards knee. And you'll notice I'm not actually touching my hands down. You can have a yoga block nearby if you need to rest on something. If you're feeling really tired, you come up, reaching down to your yoga block. Good. One more. And then we're going to hold it there. So you're either pressing onto your block or you're down onto the ground. And now I'm really pushing my shoulder against my knee, knee against my shoulder, getting down nice and low in the front leg. And we're just going to lift up the heels of that bottom foot. Keep twisting the body up towards the ceiling. So building a lot of strength in the inner thighs with this work. Inhale, which is why it's called stretch for strength. No passive stretching allowed. Good. All right, now to get a bit deeper, we're just going to bend that bottom arm and straighten it. Bend and straighten. Bend, straighten, bend, straighten, bend, straighten. Let's come into a prayer position. And we're doing an open twisted prayer. So the reverse of what we've just done. And then slowly coming round. Back into your triangle, extending the back. We're just giving that front leg a rest. Inhale. Exhale. Right, coming back into that side bend position. Now it's very important that you squeeze your shoulder against your knee and your knee against your shoulder. Pressing that arm into the floor or into a block for balance. You're going to wiggle the toes closer in towards the pelvis, trying to balance on the front hand, and if it's available to you, you're going to lift that foot up towards your pelvis, holding it there. Inhale. Exhale. I've got my knee against my elbow or my upper arm, and then slowly coming down. Now take this arm just behind the foot. This arm comes down, and if possible, you're going to grab around your ankle. And now we're going to be twisting our body up towards the ceiling, but we're just going to go small first. So range of motion is going to be very, very small. I'm really pushing my hand that's behind my foot down into the floor for balance. This and my back foot are my only points of balance and contact with the floor. So you really have to ground them and earth them. Reaching across the ankle, and very slowly just see if you can lift that foot up. If it feels really light, then that's a sign you can go further. If it feels heavy and you can't lift it up, then you're going to stay right there and you're just going to keep trying to lift that foot up. And that is all that you go to. Otherwise, you're reaching that foot and you start to bring it in an arc across the body and back down. Across and back down. Across and back down. And maybe you go a little bit bigger. Good. A little bit bigger. And then the final version, you bring that leg all the way up. You bring your arm behind your head, straighten out the hips, and if possible, looking up to the ceiling, which requires a lot of balance. Hold it there. And slowly coming down, we're going to move to the other side and take a child's pose. Just to take a moment to breathe. Inhale. So you've worked really, really hard. Not easy. Exhale. Some deep hip work. Inhale. Exhale. You're going to roll yourself back up to all fours. Bringing that foot forward and into our chair. Inhale. Holding your chair. So you're leaning the weight back, toes can even lift up off the floor. Inhale, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, back to chair. Exhale, forward fold. One more. Inhale. Exhale. And stepping back into a lunge position, high lunge. And we're going to come into our twist. So hands are together in prayer. Elbow goes across to opposite knee. Keep the hips nice and low. Twisting. Remember, the more you push down, the more you squeeze the palms of the hands together, the deeper the twist. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly coming out of that and opening up into a warrior two. Inhale, exhale, arms come behind the back, reaching them down, squeeze hands, palms together. Inhale, heart comes up to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Reaching arms overhead. Trying to keep a deep bend in the front leg. Squeezing hands, palms together. Inhale. Exhale, coming up slowly, rolling up, release the hands, back into warrior two position, front heel in line with back arch, and we're going to move into our Beakrum Triangles. So we're keeping this front leg bent, and we're reaching our fingertips to our ankle bone. Inhale and exhale. You can have your block here for support. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale and exhale. Now you've got your hand on the floor or on a block for support, pressing your shoulder into your knee into your shoulder, rotating rib cage up towards the ceiling. If it's available to you, we're going to just lift and lower the heel of the front foot. Keep breathing throughout. These moves are pretty intense, building a lot of strength. Good. 3, 2, 1. Into arm bends, just dropping that elbow. We're trying to get the shoulder down below the knee. Good. Good. And let's come into a triangle, a normal triangle, just to give that leg a moment before we do the last 3 exercises. Inhale, exhale. Even if you need to round the spine here, it's okay. We're just kind of giving that quad a break. Inhale, exhale, coming back into your side bend. We're doing an open twisted lunge, so hands, palms together, and this time we're twisting up towards the ceiling this way, still pressing elbows against knee. Good. Breathe. Then slowly dropping that hand, really pushing it into the floor. Other hand is up, and if possible, you're trying to wiggle this foot past the hand, and now really pushing elbow into knee. You're going to try and lift that bottom toe and foot towards the pelvis. Holding it there, building a lot of strength in the upper body. Breathe. And bringing it back down. Really, really good. Okay, we're going into the final movement. So hand goes behind the foot. You're reaching the other hand across your ankle. And you're going to just feel for how heavy it is. Remember to really push with this hand into the ground and your back foot. That is how you get your balance. So just feeling how light it is. Can you lift this foot up off the ground? If not, then that's all you're working on. Otherwise, we are doing slow rotations up towards the ceiling, keeping it very small at first. Just to get a feel for it, just to test your balance. When you're comfortable, you start to lift that foot a little higher. Try and hold it for a moment at the top. And then, of course, the final move, known as Visvamitrasana, very complicated name, is all the way up to the ceiling. You have to drop your hips a little bit, lifting the arm up overhead. Holding it there. And coming down. Let's step back. Downward facing dog. Coming into child's pose. Extended. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Very intense class. So well done. Inhale. Exhale, slowly rolling up one vertebra at a time. Let's just roll out those shoulders. They've worked pretty hard. So your hips should really be feeling it. Shoulders, upper body, sides of the waist. Let's take a deep inhale. And exhale. There you go. Well done. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.